I got to this hotel with a huge grand staircase, huge lobby. I'm checking in. I ask the check-in person, where's the comedy club? Sir Laughs a Lot. And then the guy checking me in said, the club's not here yet. And what I found out was the club was the grand staircase going down. Underneath that angle, they would pile up these exercise mats, these giant, like, floor size, like, you know, gymnastic mats, and then put folding chairs inside with a mobile bar, a popcorn machine, and a microphone on a stand, literally illuminated with desk lamps. You were performing under the stage like a goblin. You were literally like a goblin. So I'm doing my first show to a lot of silence, and it's not going great. It was really bad material. It was just the shittiest. I literally did a thing about, like, the way the butter flavoring tasted on popcorn in movie theaters. Just like, really? It sucks. Everyone knows. Who gives, like, what the fuck? In the middle of my act, this guy stands up, really, really well-dressed black guy, probably in his early 50s, just polite and distinguished and calm. He wasn't angry. He stands up, and I see him, everyone, it's this tiny room. And he says, I just want to let you know that I'm leaving now. I'm leaving the show. I'm not looking for a refund. I've sat through half of this show. I'm not angry at you. I just don't see any humor in what it is that you're doing. And you're supposed to be a comedian, and you don't seem to be able to make anybody really laugh. And I'm wondering if this is what you should be doing with yourself, because you seem very nice, and you're very young, and you have time to go do something else, and I hope you find it, but you haven't made me laugh, and I'm very unhappy. And then he just quietly walks out. So then I go back up to my hotel room. This is in the same hotel, of course. And at the time, this was like in the early 90s, when there were a lot of movies about white people meeting magical black people who guide them. You know, they help their golf game or help their whatever. You know, there's always a lot of magical black people in movies. So I sat on my bed that night thinking, was that my magical black person who is being sent to go, absolutely don't do this. This is the absolutely, like, what if that was my Bagger Vance? So, you know, there's been times since when I've been booed off stage, I've gotten into fights, but none of them can go to just that polite, reasonable, quiet, well-dressed black man who just stood up in the middle of my show and made me, like, probably for the next year and a half, I didn't go a day without thinking of that guy. Like, oh God, I think that's my Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. Like, that's the one who's guiding me right now. It took until I moved to San Francisco in '92, and after my first show there, where it was just, did all my A stuff, it all ate it because it was terrible. Then I watched the most creative, who are now all my friends, like, go up. And I walked across the street to the Taiwan restaurant on Clement Street, still there. I got a plate of fried rice. I took my notebook, I had this notebook, and I threw it in the trash in the bathroom, and then bought a blank one the next day and started all over. And it freed me from that guy, too, because in a way, he wasn't wrong. And you could almost argue that he was completely nailing it. But then it wasn't until that night in San Francisco that it all came together. And I get it. It was the most freeing night of my life.